Welcome back to a linguistic approach to English grammar. In this video, we're going to talk about the articles, the, and an. So, articles are our first type of determiner. So, determiner is a broad category that tells us the specifiers of the noun. So, for instance, we could say the person, a person, an apple to specify which noun it is, if it is a particular one or just any. So, the definite article, which I will label as def art, is the. There's only one definite article in English, the. And then we have two indefinite articles, which I label as indef art, and that is a and an. And these mean exactly the same thing. It's just you use the one or an depending on whether the next word starts with a vowel sound or not. So, let's talk about what these are first. When we use the n, so the game, the kids, the thing, the wall, we use that when we want to talk about a specific and a unique noun or group. So there's two things that we assume when we use the. We assume that it is unique and we assume it exists. So when I say the game has started, I am assuming here that both speakers know which game we're talking about. So we both know that there is a particular game that is starting. So when I say the game, I'm assuming the other person knows exactly which game I'm talking about. Here's another example. Have you seen the kids? So notice here that we can use this with plural nouns too. So usually when we say, have you seen the kids, that typically means either your kids or my kids or some specific group of kids that both of us are aware of. So if I said, have you seen the kids? And there are no kids, you'd be like, what are you saying? What have you seen the kids? There are no kids. The next one, what is the answer to this question? So when we say the answer, usually that means that there is a specific answer. So when we say what is the answer to this question, we're saying out of all the possible answers I could give, what is the one correct answer? If I were to say what is an answer, that could mean there's multiple answers, but the implies there's a specific, unique answer. In fact, if the question has no answer, we couldn't say the answer because there is no answer. For n or an n, so this is the indefinite article, we use these for non-specific nouns. So the is to point out a specific and unique one, is just for any general one. So if we say, do you own a car? Well, it doesn't matter which car it is. It could be, oh no, my drawing skills. It could be that car. It could be that car. It could be the this car that's a little bit taller. It doesn't matter which car. We're just asking in general, is there some car that you own? Or when you say a bird flew by my window, we don't know which bird it is. It could be the same bird as last week. It could be a new bird. Who knows? Doesn't matter. But some bird flew by my window. Or have you ever met an honest politician? With this question, we're just saying, is there at least one honest politician out there that you've met? We're not specifying any particular one. We're just saying, is there one? So that is what and an or and un are used for. So when do we use or un or an? Well, we use before words that begin with consonant sounds. And this part is important. So we have some nice ones, a bird, a plane, a test. But then we have this one, a union, union. So in the International Phonetic Alphabet, we would transcribe this as, say, union. And you're asking yourself, well, what is this? This is the y sound, and that y sound is not a vowel. It is a consonant sound. So that's why we use before a word like union, because we get that y at the beginning. If it was union, we would say an union, not a union. but because that y is a consonant sound, we use a. We use an or un before words that begin with vowel sounds. So here's some examples here. We have an apple, so this is a, an egg, an envelope, But here's this other case. Honest person. Honest person. Why do we say an honest person? Well, that's because this sound is, well, first of all, we can say the H is silent. So when we transcribe this, we get something like honest. In fact, that really shouldn't be that. Oh, it should be something more like this. If we were to transcribe it into the International Phonetic Alphabet, we would get something like honest. So, because this is not pronounced, we don't start with a consonant sound. We start with a vowel sound. So that is why we use un before the word honest. So how do these look like in our trees? Well, articles, or any determiner, will always appear at the beginning of a noun phrase. So for instance, in the phrase the car, we see the definite article the occurring at the beginning of the noun phrase. And this tells us something like which car. It is a specifier to point out the car in the universe that we're talking about. Or for example, we have a new house. So in this case, we have an adjective phrase modifier. So new is describing the house. But we have the indefinite article a, which of course is talking about house. So this is basically saying there is some house out there and that house is new. We're not pointing to a specific house in the world. So this is not a specific house. But in both cases, we see they are occurring at the very beginning of our noun phrase here. There are a few types of words that can appear before these determiners, called predeterminers, and we'll talk about that at some point too. So, because un, and the are just two different categories here, there's really not much to talk about for when we use them, so let's just do some vowel tests and consonant sound tests to see if we can use or un. You can pause and try these yourself, or I can go through them first. So, I bought old scooter. So, old starts with a vowel sound. So, because it starts with a vowel sound, we would use an. So, I bought an old scooter. Okay, James is real dummy. So, real starts with a consonantal sound. So because real is a consonant, we would use a. So James is a real dummy. The last one, don't forget to buy uniform for school. So this one, this is a vowel in writing, but it starts with a consonant sound. So if we were to transcribe this again, we would get something like uniform. So if you know IPA, that's how we would transcribe it. And the first sound of uniform is a consonantal sound. So we would use a. Don't forget to buy a uniform for school. Or don't forget to buy a uniform for school. I should mention one thing. The difference between a, un, and an is just a matter of emphasis. If you're talking fast in a sentence, normally you say a or un. You enunciate slowly, you would say a or an. So they mean the same thing, just two different pronunciations. Anyways, that is it for our indefinite and definite articles. We will continue with the other determiners in future videos.